Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who deserve double honors and who rule well. Salutations go out also to the fellow Akim out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth on the street corners around the four corners of the earth. All right, pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity, trying to make up the remaining elect. Hopefully elect, that is. All right, because we don't know. All right, we're working. All right, for that penny, just like everybody else. All right. So this is Nama of the DC camp, and hey, once again, we got to get on these hypocrites. The chief hypocrite. We're talking about the nation of Edom, the so-called white man who rules the earth. All right, Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right, so people are fed up. People are fed up with this red piece of shit. The word, beside to the point where when you look up the word, and I'm being serious with this, when you look up the word hypocrisy or hypocrite, all right, it should have this motherfucker's picture by it. It really should, because he is the chief hypocrite. Remember Job 20 and 5, Job 27. All right, let's get that real quick. Because he clearly thinks, all right, he's done all this foolishly, I might add, thinking that, hey, I got away with this. These people are suckers. No, it don't work like that, homie. All right, this is Job 20. All right, and so far speaks, the wicked will suffer. All right. Start at 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Those are the questions that are presented. Don't you know this? All right. It says, though his excellency, verse 6, mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. So all this that you've gone out of your way to rape, rob, steal, murder, it's going to all be for naught in the end, because you're going down. It says, they which have seen him shall say, where is he? Yeah. So, get used to it. This is Job 27. Hold on. And verse 8. It says, for what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he hath gained, when the Most High taketh away his soul? Ooh, sounds like Matthew, don't it? In the New Testament. That's why it tells you in Matthew 6 and 20, lay up your, and this is for the Israelites, of course, lay up your treasures in heaven. All right, well, jackasses like the so-called white man can't get to them. You got to consider who was ruling at the time when Matthew 6 came out. Think about that. All right, so let's go ahead and roll this footage. And she articulated this to, I can't do any better. All I can do is add scriptures. Let's get to it.
America is one of the most self-righteous Western countries you will ever encounter. They're always out here talking about democracy, human rights, and how people should live and how people should be treated and how people should be governed. And unfortunately, while it's a decent cause, it's a good cause for humanity, there's a lot of double standard that comes with it and hypocrisy. First of all, America will not talk about the human rights abuse that happens right in their backyard. And two, these reports are used to twist and ensure that certain countries like Saudi Arabia and China and all these other countries are put in line and stay in line with regards to the American agenda. And this double standard...
I'd always stated, all right, if you want to know what America is really up to, what they're really about, you have to study their foreign policy. All right. Their foreign diplomacy or lack thereof, but it's foreign policy. All right.
That is being called out because Palki is asking and telling us that while America is busy policing human rights, every other place in the world, human rights are in shambles in America.
There's ingrained racism and police brutality, the gun terror. It's the only country in the world where you're more likely to be killed by a teenager than a terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
Children are shot dead in schools in America.
Just
there are dystopian gender controls like the abortion law. How is all of this not an affront to human life and dignity? And look, the US is free to make its annual human rights report. But these reports are not made with the aim of fixing any of this. America is weaponizing human rights, and it's appalling. It reeks of US hypocrisy.
Listen to this.
Hi there, how are you doing? Welcome again to another episode of our conversations. My name is Indira Ganga. I am a business journalist by profession.
Do you understand what she's saying? Weaponizing. All right. It was in the news today. What are they talking about? Of course, their familiar target, Saudi Arabia. Well, we'd like to do business with you, but by the way, what about the women wanting to drive, wanting more, shit like that. And people are tired, especially, and I find that all the more, especially now in light of this gay agenda, and I hope you know that it's an agenda. And Saudi Arabia is far more extreme when it comes to homosexuality than Uganda. But for some reason, they want to hold Uganda's feet to the fire and say nothing with or about Saudi Arabia. See what she was talking about, double standards? That's a clear one there. Let's continue on.
And also a digital content creator. I enjoy coming on here, having conversations about Africa, Black people, empowerment, and how we can take
We're not black.
At the global stage. Today, I want us to have a conversation around an editorial piece that was done by Palki. Now, this piece was informed by the human rights report that was done by America. And it's a good report that goes to highlight the human rights abuse that goes on in the world, every other place in the world, with the exception of America.
Here we go.
It's that time of the year again. The US has released its annual human rights report. Human rights in other countries, of course. The report is out, and nothing in it stands out, except for the breathtaking hypocrisy of America. It talks about Russian war crimes in Ukraine. It talks about Iran's crackdown on anti-hijab protesters, China and its treatment of Uyghur Muslims in Xinjiang, the horrors of the Myanmar military. It covers pretty much every country in the world, including India, and it shows how America is stuck in a time warp. It still sees itself as a sole superpower, and it's still tone deaf.
Tone deaf.
The section about India is almost the same as the last year. Paragraphs have been lifted almost verbatim from the 2021 report. The only new criticism seems to be the bulldozing of homes. The rest remains the same. And just like last year, most nations are likely to refute this report, which begs the question, why make it at all?
Now, let's not get it twisted, or let's not lose sight of this report and the importance that it has just in general in protecting people, minorities, vulnerable communities. It's a very important report because it highlights some of the pain and the abuse that many people have to endure all over the world in the hands of dictators, in the hands of poor leadership, governance, unequal distribution of resources. This is a very important report. However, there's always an angle when it comes to these things, particularly when it's coming from...
Always an angle.
And the angle here is America will do this report and put people in this report deliberately so that they can ensure that they keep you in line, If they want something from you, then they have leverage over you. They're not just coming to the table as equals, as partners. It's just business. No, they're coming on the table and saying, we want to do business with you. But, there's that anti-gay bill.
Shady.
Judicial, there's this happening. And so, because of this, we're doing you a favor by doing business with you. And while all these things might be true,
but That's what we've been trying to tell the world. You know who you're dealing with, the liar and deceiver of the earth, aka the devil. That's who you're dealing with. And once you understand that, once you understand that, then you can furthermore devise a plan on how to deal with them. Hopefully with the scriptures, all right, because that's the wisdom that you'll deal with them with, all right, because understand, that's why off the bat, Job 9:24, these people rule the world. They were set up to do what they're doing. And as it says in 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter, well, since I mentioned it, let's get it real quick. All right, this is who you're dealing with. All right, when you come to understand that, like I said, 2 Thessalonians 2, I might as well start at 3. And the heading here is the man of lawlessness. This, at the end of the day, is who you're dealing with. He don't give a fuck. He's contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, because that's what he was created to do. Be contrary. Be a human adversary, an emissary of the spiritual demon, Satan. All right? Let no man deceive you by any means, starting at 3. For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, which, this is who we're talking about, the man of sin, the son of perdition or destruction, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High. Remember I said he's clean contrary, Wisdom of Solomon, 2nd chapter. Or that is worship, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of God with his science. All right? Remember I said contrary. What Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai does in the spirit, he's contrary to that. So his science, he has to be carnal. All right, you understand? Who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worship, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. You understand? And people are looking, he's enjoyed demigod status. All right? Now with his science, now what they're doing is they've got this individual, I understand through his science, that involves Bluetooth also. This guy that was he paraplegic? Yeah, he can walk somewhat now. Ever since his accident, you have, I believe they're still in the process of perfecting the means of making people see that otherwise couldn't. All right, still working on that, perfecting that. And there's all kinds of other things. The brain chip, you know, Elon Musk and his competition, you know, what they're going to try to do is, you know, they think that they're at the point now that they can hack a human being. This is what we're up against, people. Literal mad scientists. All right. Verse 5, remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things, and now ye know that withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And that's my point. All right, 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which is we are doing out there on the highways and byways, on the street corners, or wherever the word is going out. And this is what's bringing this devil down. Look up Hosea chapter 6, verse 5. This is what we're doing. Also, 2 Corinthians 10, verses 4 and 5. Pulling down those strongholds. What are those strongholds? The lies. Case in point, these lowlifes have the audacity when they refer to critical race theory, they want to say that they don't want their kids being indoctrinated. That's all they've ever done to our people. Since when but this is who you're dealing with now. Like I said, this is who you're dealing with. when it's telling you the truth about what you've done to us, a theory. And this is what I propose. This is just me. Anytime that you're in the company of some individuals who talk about a Holocaust, I just get up and leave. If they ask you, well, what's wrong? Tell them, no, I don't want to be party to what is clearly a lie. That's just if they ask you. Otherwise, just remove yourself, because of course they're gonna play on. Oh, you're anti-Semitic. No, I'm about the truth, and you're not. All right, all right. Because they want to continue to turn a blind eye like nothing. They never did anything wrong or anything like that, and they continue to give aid and support to people who clearly didn't go through what they claim they did. And all it continues to do is increase their wealth. Make no mistake, that shit going over there in Ukraine, it's the same old thing. Just a means of getting money, bilking people, having them feel sorry for them over there, and they're getting paid again. Verse 8 again. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Most High shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. All right. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. Think Revelation 13th chapter. All right. Around, I think it's 13 through 15. Anyway, so let's go back, finish this out. At least for a little bit. I might not finish it. I might just let her go a little bit more, and then just have you, put the link and have you watch.
So what America forgets is that they also have their own problems back at home.
Exactly.
To them, the arm twisting and the blackmail is far more important than the actual essence of that report.
Look at the case of Saudi Arabia, a long-standing ally of the US, but not towing Washington's line of late. How does America get Riyadh back in line? Just bring up their human rights record. And for a country that has appointed itself the class monitor on human rights, how does America's own record look? You won't find the answers in this report because the US chose not to include itself.
See?
Now, ideally, India or any of these other countries should be releasing a report on human rights in the US. But they don't. They don't go beyond the odd word of condemnation. So we decided to do the honor.
When you read that report, you think that America is perfect, doesn't have any issues, and it's the land of milk and honey and opportunities, and everybody is treated with.
Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Those Iranians are roasting the fuck out of the U.S. What she said right there, that's why I was laughing. She said they don't want to file a report on their own human rights abuses, so we'll do it for them. I couldn't resist. I love it. You have to love seeing this motherfucker go down. It is so beautiful. Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 25 verse 7. All right. To be able to live to see the downfall of your enemy. All right. Beautiful. Continuing on.
With so much respect, and there's high regard for human life. But the white supremacy that goes on in America is one thing. Black people do not matter. Their lives do not count. You might have thought that after George Floyd, we will never, ever, ever get to see again police brutality against Black people and the Black community. But guess what? You wake up every day on the news, guess what you see? Another thing, another abuse, it never ends, and that's America for you. White people have taken on the responsibility of maintaining law and order at the expense of Black lives, but that's not a human rights issue. It doesn't even matter, right?
See?
There are shootings, mass shootings in schools, I don't think that 2 weeks will pass before you hear there was either a shooting or an attempt in school on children. And the double standard of America cannot allow America to call it for what it is, which is terrorism. They've been hiding behind mental health and all admitting and acknowledging the kind of problems that they have back at home, but it's because they're so good at seeing the speck in another person's eye and not on their own. Let's talk about also how the Pentagon is blocking Russia from being prosecuted by the ICC, because that opens a can of worms. That means if Russia will be taken to the ICC for its invasion of Ukraine, then there'll be global pressure for America to also be prosecuted for its atrocities in Iraq. I mean, Julian Assange is now being held captive, and one of the videos that Julian Assange released showed American soldiers shooting and killing innocent civilians in a war-torn country and enjoying it. It was just like it's a video game, and these guys were like eliminating targets, and to them, it's almost like they enjoyed it. Zero regard for human life. You know, the things that CIA has done across the globe are unthinkable and unspeakable.
CIA and those other alphabet agencies, but let's hey, back to the scriptures. Who we're dealing with here for that little season, all right, ever since these barbarians, all right, were let loose again in the world in order so they could deceive the world, as Revelation 20th chapter gets into. This is John 10 and 10. The thief, that's another name for this piece of shit, because this is how he acquired what he's gotten, his ill-gotten gains here. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill. Think Columbus and all those who came after him, and to destroy. All right. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. Think the Greeks, think the Roman Empire, and now we're at the revived Roman Empire. All right. All right. After he was shut up for 1,000 years, when he was so low, the wild man of Europe. Look it up. All right. This is this piece of shit that you're dealing with now. But he's still a piece of shit. No matter how polished he appears to be, he's still a low-life piece of shit. A little bit more.
The destabilization of Libya, what was the end goal? Like, yeah, you killed Gaddafi, so, like, how, to what end? Look at Libya right now. Did it serve a good purpose with Gaddafi dead, or would it have made more sense with Gaddafi?
Why? Because it was going to fuck with that Federal Reserve. All right, they couldn't allow that to happen. I'm going to, there's only like 5 more minutes, a little less than 5 more minutes left. I'll put the link, you can watch the rest of it. But I'm going to go to this other clip to where this professor at Amherst, he's going to get straight in this motherfucker's ass. He ain't going to use one cuss word, all right? But see, they like to play this game, all right, like they're so righteous. And he's going to, hold on.
Within the black community?
Here we go.
Are there any trends within the black community, such as higher crime rates or higher illegitimacy rates that could explain their position?
You hear what he said? He's trying to call out, well, the black, community is so violent. Anything you want to, talk about that, and what's the solution? Watch, this is Dr. Sandy Darity. Watch this.
And vis-a-vis whites, and can those be explained by some dominant social group?
You stayed up all night with thesauruses and dictionaries sitting all around you to build this old paragraph body build question just for him to say.
No to the first one, or the
no
second one?
No to
both of them.
I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware of the 100 massacres that were directed against black communities throughout the United States, in which thousands of blacks were killed, and the white terrorists appropriated black-owned property. So there's no segment of the population that has a greater history of violence than white Americans.
Nah, he's
None! But motherfuckers still want to give. That's why I played the first video first, because she went in. All right, but you understand, they went along with this, and this is why all these other nations are our enemies. You have to understand this. It benefited them to do so. Now, since they're getting that red foot up their ass, now they want to say, well, look what you did to... No, you know what? Whatever. Let's finish this on out.
Spitting. Cue the music, but keep on talking, brother.
So when you talk about these kinds of matters to me, you are actually mouthing a set of propagandistic claims that are made on the right in the United States, and they do not have a foundation in fact.
There you go. It's propaganda. And they do a good job of that around the world. You know, these blacks are violent people. And we've already established that the immigrants now are talking. You got Moab, you have Cush. When they first came over here, the white man, so-called, told them, be careful of those people, those blacks, those Negroes. Stay away from them. They're lazy. They're violent. This is what they've done. All right? So now all this stuff is coming out, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. Hey, so with that, like I said, I'll post the links to both of these in the description box, of course. And let's not forget, you know, the copyright disclaimer, which I should have did at the beginning. All right. God dang it. Let's see if I can keep remembering. Let's see. I think this is it. All right, here we go. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use. All right, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Yes, I do not intend to profit in any way. This is just used as a teaching instrument or tool. All right, so until the next video, hey, I hope whoever views this is edified, of course. Hey, until the next one, Shalom, Akim, Shalom.